Hey everybody, it's Pastor Martin and it's Wednesday night where we talk ministry and we want to get started very shortly. So please come in and share it with someone tonight. You don't want to miss tonight's teaching, and this tonight is going to be a blessing to those of you that will view it tonight and those of you that will watch it. So we're going to get started very shortly. So please come on in and we're getting ready to talk ministry on this Wednesday night. Well, hey, everybody, it's Pastor Martin, and we're grateful that you joined us on tonight. And certainly, I know that tonight's session is going to be a blessing to you. So please do me a favor. It's so important tonight that you will be a part of this. So I want you to, tune in. I want you to share it with someone. Need you to do that tonight. It's going to be a blessing. Tag somebody, share it with somebody, share it with your followers, especially those that are in ministry, those that are preachers, those that are evangelists, those that are on the field, those that are coming off the field. No matter what age they are, I need you to share this tonight. It's going to be a blessing as we talk about ministry tonight, as we talk about these things. So I want you to share it tonight as they come in, that it will be a blessing to each and every one of them. I see many of you that are coming in tonight, and I appreciate you for being a part. Now, every Wednesday night we do this, and we try our best to talk ministry to those things and those that will hear, because I believe that it's important that we share with one another when it comes to ministry and the things of ministry. And so tonight we want to share. So again, as you're coming in, please, by all means, share this with someone. Share it, tag them, whatever you do, because this is, I believe, something that's going to be very important for us to hear on tonight, and that is set your house in order and preparing for ministry, the afterlife of ministry, and those things that we're doing now. And so I want you to please, by all means, come in as we share. We're not going to be long tonight. We're going to try our best to share with you and not hold you a long time. But again, I do want to share because I feel it's very important for us to hear this tonight, for those of you that are in ministry, especially to be a part of this, to hear it and to understand that there's some things we have to do. And so as we're sharing tonight, I know it's going to be a blessing to you, and I know it's going to bless you as you are watching tonight. So let's get started. Let's get right into it. And I want you, again, do me a favor, share it with someone, tag somebody in it, and as we get started in this on tonight. Tonight I want to talk to you about setting your house in order. In the scripture in 2 Kings chapter 20 and verse 1, there's a scripture that says, in those days Hezekiah was sick unto death. And the prophet Isaiah came to him and said unto him, thus saith the Lord, set thine house in order, for thou shalt die and not live. Now we know that he prayed and God added time. But originally he said, I want you to go and tell him to set his house in order, for he is going to die and not live. I want him to get, we're not talking about his spiritual part, but I want him to get his affairs in order, the things that are on the other side of spirituality. I need him to get those things in order. And so tonight I want to share with you that it's so important for us to set our house in order. Now I know as we talk about this tonight, this is not a subject that people like to discuss. It's not a subject that most of us like to talk about. It's not a round table discussion subject. It's not a subject around the dinner table. It's not even a subject in family reunions and those things. It's just not a subject that we like to discuss at all. And because we don't discuss it, and because we don't talk about it, because we don't prepare, because we don't say these things, many times when things happen, we are sort of lost, and things happen and we have no control and don't know what happened because we failed to set our house in order. So tonight I want to talk to some bishops. I want to talk to some preachers. I want to talk to some evangelists, some missionaries, just somebody, maybe you're not even in the ministry. I want to talk to you tonight about setting your house in order. You know, a few weeks ago, we were called to a meeting to meet with a person that handles things for funerals and homegoings, burial plots, and they came in and we all sat down and began to talk with them, and they began to give this list of things that you need to do and prepare for just in case, or even if you're terminally ill, you need to prepare for these things. And so they brought a list in, and we just began to sit down and talk with them. And then we were called to another meeting where one of our family members was just sharing with us the things that they wanted done in their passing and in their death, in their transition, the things that they wanted to talk to us about. So they began to talk to us about it, and they explained to us everything they wanted. They explained who they wanted to do the eulogy, all of those things. Everything was laid out, and they said, these are my wishes, these are my desires, even if I get sick. And the doctor said, tell y'all one thing, this is what my wishes and my desires are. And so we begin to think about those things. And I did this particular segment before on the ministry segment here, but I thought it's so important to do it over again and to share again that we must set our house in order. It's something that we must do. And I'm not talking about praying. I'm not talking about fasting. I'm not talking about the spiritual side. I'm talking about getting your business affairs together, getting those things in line that you know you need to do, because you just never know what's going to happen. And so tonight I want to share with you and give you some things to consider as we set our house in order, as we put things together, as we set our house in order. We don't want to forget. We don't want to miss. We don't want to leave burdens on people that we don't have to. But we must prepare. Life is like a vapor. You can be here 1 minute and gone. David declares there's but a step between me and death. And so we have to prepare. Some things we have to prepare for the afterlife, or when I say afterlife, that's in death. But then there's some things we have to prepare for while we're yet here that has nothing to do with us dying. It just has to do with us understanding that life keeps going. Time waits on no man, and we have to function that way. And so when he said to Hezekiah, set thine house in order, all of us must deal with the reality that we're not going to be here forever. We're not going to be here. We're not going to be here. I know we believe it, that we're going to be here forever, and that, you know, if the Lord delays his coming, all of us are going to leave out of here. That's a true fact. All of us are going to go out of here by the way of death. We're going to go out of here. Then some of us that are even in ministry, we're ministering strong now, but you never know when you're going to have an illness or a sickness or something's going to happen, and you won't be able to go or to travel or to minister. And I want to ask you, what have you done to prepare for the afterlife of ministry? What have you done to put things together for the after time that you're not preaching? All of us must deal with the reality that we will not always be in demand. I know, and I want to talk to some young preachers today that feel that I'm young and I've got this thing going. I'm just beginning to kick in. I want to tell you, I want you to enjoy your youth and do what the Lord has called you to do, but I want you to also start preparing, because time keeps ticking every year. I was just reading something yesterday that says right now the millennials are already being outnumbered. And we put our time into the millennials, and they already being outnumbered. I forgot what group is outnumbering them, but they're already being outnumbered. And so that means they are now moving on down the chart. They're moving on down the highway, just like we have done. And so we want to understand that you're not always going to be in demand. You're not always going to be where someone's calling you, or where you are the headliner, or where you on the ticket, or whatever you want to call it. You're not going to be that place. We must understand that the reality of it is many people have outstanding ministries on the road, but when they get older, they have not prepared for the after part of ministry. And because they have not prepared for that, They have no income. They have no means of living. They have no investments, and they have no insurance. They have nothing. None of this stuff is going on. They have nothing going on. And so we don't like to discuss this. We don't like to talk about it, but we must talk about it if we are going to do the things we have to do. Now, I know some of you tonight, this is not of interest to you, but take it from me. Save the video, tag it or something, because somewhere down the road, you're going to hear these words come back to you. So let me give you a few suggestions or things to consider for your consideration tonight. Consider, if you are in ministry, you want you to set your house in order. If you're in ministry, and this will work for those that are not even in ministry, I want you to consider taking some money that you're making now and putting it away, or investing your money, that when you get older, you'll have something that you can reach back and touch on. According to the amount you can do, the amount that you make, consider maybe putting away $100 a week or $100 a month, and put it somewhere that you can't touch it, that you can't just get it whenever you get ready and just spend it on stuff and take it away. I remember when I first came to the church where I am, one of the pastors and preachers in Memphis was a financial planner, insurance type person. And he said, I want to put you in a Mercedes. And he was not talking about a physical Mercedes, but he had me to come in. He explained to me what he wanted me to do. And I signed on, and they took out $100 every month. They took $100 directly from me, from my account every month, and put it away. And it was building and built up because of the fact that he said, I want to be able that when you're older, you will have some money. Now, notice I was 37, I believe, when he started doing that. And so we have to start putting some money. I want you to think about putting some money away. Listen at me carefully. Putting some money away. I don't care what it is. And I'm talking to those of you that are traveling and you're making this money. You're making thousands of dollars at a time. You're walking away with $4,000 or $5,000, and you're spending it on all kind of stuff. And then you have not invested. You have not put your money anywhere. You have not taken that a certain amount of that money and put it somewhere where you can have some money in a retirement, or if something happens, you'll have money where you won't have to be away begging for people to give you money. So that's the first thing I want you to consider, is doing that. I need you to really look at that. Set your house in order. Start looking at doing that. Number two, and I'm moving tonight. Number two, I want you to start considering, especially those of you that are younger and maybe some of you that are older too, consider looking into other streams of income besides just speaking engagement, especially if you're full-time in ministry. You know, sometimes we're full-time and that's what we rely on. You rely on speaking engagements. And if you don't have speaking engagements, then you have no income and you have no way of supporting yourself. But if you have, if you've got a trade or a vocation, then you'll be able to do something, and you can look at doing other things to bring in income, especially during your downtime or time that you may not be able to do. You need to find something else to do besides just speaking engagement. You need to find something else to do to maintain what you're going to do. So I want to tell you, you need to do that. You know, what I do, and I've shared this with you before, most of the things that you may see where you see me doing preaching and you see video, or you may see some graphics, or you may hear some things that may have my voice on it. Those are things that I got trained to do with my late uncle. He came in one day and said, come here. And he had a radio broadcast. And he said, he gave me a piece of paper. He said, read this and talk into this mic. And I did that. And when I did that, that became where I would do voiceovers for radio and other things. I would use that for. So I started that when I was 12 years old. Then he taught me how to put things together when we were doing cut and paste. He taught me how to put things together as far as putting flyers together and those things. And so now we've come a long way with computers and graphics and all the software and other things. And even what I'm doing now, those are the things I was trained to do. So I have another a way of income coming to me every week or every month. I've got another stream of income that's not directly linked to just speaking or to the ministry or to the church. I've got a thing that comes in because I take care of some business for other people, websites, or do graphics, or do videos, or those things. So that's other income. I've just completed a project not too long ago for anniversary or something, and so I was paid for that. Those things are things, and I do those sometimes when I'm not preaching. I'm sitting at the computer doing those things all the time, and people are calling saying, can you do it? So you have to consider another way of income. You just can't say it. And I'm mainly talking to those that are full-time in ministry that's just sort of waiting around for an opportunity. You've got to get another stream of income coming in. You got to work on that. It's very important. Set your house in order. Now, number 3, we travel and we move around a lot in the world, and there is the possibility that we will get sick along the way and need medical attention. There's the possibility we're going to need somewhere in our life medical attention. And so we've got to consider getting some health insurance. Set your house in order. You've got to get some health insurance. Now, I know I hear it. I hear it all the time. I can't afford health insurance. I can't get health insurance. I'm here to tell you tonight, if you can pay a cell phone bill every month, if you can pay a cell phone bill every month, if you can go and buy expensive shoes and suits and clothes and brag about the fact that you paid $250 for a tie, $75 for a tie, $500 for some snakes or some alligators, or brag about the fact how much you paid for St. John's and red bottom shoes. And you tell me that when you get sick, you've got to call everybody around the country to get some money to pay your hospital bill and to help you out. No, ma'am. No, sir. You've got to set your house in order. You've got to go. You're listening at me. You've got to go and get some health insurance and pay it every month, just like you paying your cell bill. I can hear nobody up in here. You got to go. You got a cell bill that you paying every month. Some of you are paying $200-$300 for cell bills. Some of you are buying all these expensive clothes so you can look sharp in the convention, the convocation, and you sharp. And if you got sick leaving the convocation and they took you to the hospital, you have no insurance, no health insurance. Set your house in order. Go get you some health insurance. Go buy you some health insurance. Stop putting that off, because you never know when you're going to get sick. Never know. I remember 2009, I believe it was, I went to my doctor, and he was a nice guy. He's retired now, but I love going to him because he was always straight up with you. And I went to get a normal checkup. When I went to get the checkup, when I went back to get my results, when they read the results, they went to grabbing stuff, and they brought him out, and he said, you're on the borderline of diabetic. You're a diabetes. You're a diabetic borderline. He said, but you don't have to live with this. We can correct this. He said, but you got to change some things that you do. And thank God I had insurance, because I needed to be able to do some things and correct some things. And when you start going into emergency rooms and getting sick and going to the hospital, those things could cost, you can run a bill up $100,000 and all that kind of stuff being in the hospital. You need some health insurance. I believe in healing. I believe in prayer, but you need to set your house in order. Get you some health insurance. That's a part of preparing for even after you get through with ministry. While you're even doing ministry, get some health insurance. Get some health insurance. I'm going to keep saying that. Get you some health insurance. Stop trying to impress your peers. Stop trying to impress people that you shop and got all these wonderful clothes. Listen, if you in the hospital and you sick and don't have no health insurance, your clothes is not going to do you any good unless you can sell them. I'm looking directly at you. Go get you some health insurance. Set your house in order. Go get some health insurance. I pray and trust that you getting something tonight with this. Please, please, please. Oh, I hear you. Yeah, ladies, amen. The men doing the suits and y'all doing the getting your nails done, your hair done. And you look beautiful. Take my word, you look good. But understand, when you laying in the hospital and you don't have no health insurance, nothing to cover your medical expenses, none of that's going to do you any good. Because when you laying up there, no one's coming to do your nails. You're not even thinking about nails. You think about, how can I get up out of here healthy? And when they send you that first bill, now I have to tell you, I did have a situation once that I didn't have any health insurance. And so this may help you out. This is the true story. I'm going to talk about me. I didn't have health insurance. And in 2005, I was walking down my steps here at home. My office used to be downstairs. So I was going down there one night to put something, and something, I don't know what was on the steps, but I slipped on the steps and broke my ankle. Broke it, had to have surgery. They put a pin in it and put a plate with 7 screws in it. I was in a cast and all that on crutches and everything. And let me tell you what happened. I was in the hospital. I didn't even stay in the hospital. They took me I went into the hospital that day. They got me ready, prepped me for surgery. They did the surgery. I went home that night and all of that. And let me tell you, when they sent that bill from the hospital, think about it, not staying overnight. Thank God, God allowed me to pay the bill, but I didn't stay overnight. But let me tell you, that bill was $12,000. Did you hear what I just said? $12,000. And that wasn't even an overnight stay. I went in at 2 in the evening and was out of there by 10 that night, and it was $12,000 for the surgery and everything. And then other bills started coming in because the people the anesthesiologists, they were separate from the hospital, and then the person that did the surgery, he was separate from the hospital. So the bill was even higher than $12,000. It may have been about $18,000 that I had to pay. I didn't have insurance, but thank God I was able to pay everyone and pay it off. So that gave me the importance of knowing you've got to have some health insurance. You got to do it. I don't care what nobody tell you. I'd rather have health insurance, and you looking at me saying, didn't I see you with that on last year? Yes, you did. But if I get sick, guess what? I'm going to be fine. All right, let me move on. Okay, number 4. I'm sure all of us would love to live a long life. I know you would love to live a long life. All of us want to live a long life, but you never know when things are going to happen, when we're going to pass, when we're going to leave, whether it's us, our family members. And we don't want our family members and people struggling to raise money to bury us. So here's number 4 that you got to do. You buy everything else, you got to take some money, get you some life insurance or some burial insurance. Life insurance or some burial insurance. Life insurance or some burial insurance. Hear me again. You need to do that. I was talking to my CPA yesterday. I had to take some things to him, and we were talking, and we were talking about his age and stuff, and he was talking about one of his friends that went in and had his colonoscopy and everything, and they gave him a clean bill of health on Thursday. But he got a call on Saturday saying that the person had fell out. And when they got there, the paramedics and everybody came, was pumping his chest, but they couldn't revive him and he died. Understand that. Clean bill of health on Thursday. Died on Saturday. You never know when these things are going to happen. And we need to have life insurance or burial insurance. Now, you can get some burial insurance and it don't cost that much. You can get some life insurance and it don't cost that much, but you need to get it. We need to get it now. You don't need to leave your family and everyone struggling to find out how they're going to put you away, how they're going to bury you. You need to do that. Now, one thing we can say, now, our foreparents didn't believe in going to the hospital and the doctors. I have to say that they didn't believe in it. But, you couldn't hardly get my grandmother to go to the hospital. She had them old home remedies and stuff. You couldn't get them to go. But now there's one thing that they did that I have to commend them on. They kept some life insurance and some burial insurance. And you remember when the insurance man used to come to your house, had that little black, whatever they call it, had all your insurance stuff in there. And every time you made a payment, they would write it in there. And they came to your house to make sure you paying your insurance. They came every week or whatever it was. And then they gave you the policy. And I remember my grandmother said, the policy, if anything ever happens to me, the policy is under the mattress. You remember that? They used to put the policies under the mattress. That's where it was. It was under the mattress. So you knew if something happened to anybody, you didn't have to go and search it out. The policy, the insurance policy was under the mattress. And so certainly we've got to understand that you've got to get some life insurance, some burial insurance. You got to leave it. And don't go to talking about, well, I ain't gonna leave no insurance for my wife, for them, so they can take care of somebody else. What do you care? You gone. I mean, come on now. What difference is it gonna make? You're not gonna be here to spend it. But at least take care of them, and that they won't be around here doing all the stuff and trying to do that. And then if you get to the place that you become where you can't make decisions for yourself, find somebody in your family, whoever you trust, give them the power of attorney to make decisions for you just in case you get so sick that you can't respond yourself. And to give it to somebody that's responsible. It's something that we got to work on. It's something we got to do. No, we don't want to talk about this. I know some of you don't want to hear this tonight, but I want you to share this with somebody. I want you to help somebody, because this will work not just for preachers. This will work for everyone. This prepares you for after ministry. This prepares you setting your house in order now. You don't even have to be in ministry to take what I'm giving you tonight, but you've got to do it. It's important that we do this. Put it away. Now, let me say, my uncle passed in 2015, and in 2011, he was in town. So I called him, and I said to him, I need you to stop by. I had a young lady that was doing some burial insurance, and so I said to him, I need you to stop by. And he came by the church, and she came by, and we sat down, and I had her to explain to him this policy, and she explained it to him. And so she put him in the policy, and I told her, he said, well, how am I going to pay for it? I said, don't worry about it. I'm going to pay for it every month. I'll pay for it. Now, there came a time that 1 or 2 of those months it was rough, but I paid for it anyhow. He said, I said, I'm going to pay for it because I want to be, you've taken care of me ever since I was born, since I was a little kid. You had me on the road traveling with you. Anything I've ever asked of him, he's had always done it and always come through for me. And so I thought it right that I would put some in place for him. And so I did that when he passed, because of his name and because he was legendary, I didn't want us to have to be around begging people to bury him. And so I paid the policy out of my own pocket for 5 years, paid it out of my own pocket for 5 years to make sure that he would be taken care of and that his burial would be. And so when that call came, I had no problem. We went and took care of everything and took care of his burial and put him away the way he deserved to be put away, with dignity, with class. And so I'm saying to you, we all know we're going to get out of here. We just don't know when. The Lord delays His coming. We're going to get out of here. Go and get you some burial insurance. It ain't going to cost you that much. Those of you that are over 50, go and sign up. I forgot what it is. Let me see if I got it. I got one here because they sent it to me, and I'm thinking about signing back up with it. I had it one time before. I think this is New York Life, I believe it is. If you're over 50, sign up for AARP and go get you sign up for the life insurance, New York Life Insurance, I think it is. They go up to, I think it's $100,000 you can get up to. I think they start at 20 and then 50 and go up to 100,000. Go and get some insurance, especially if you're over 50. If you're younger, you need to get some, but especially if you're over 50, go and get you some life insurance, health insurance, and make somebody beneficiary. Hey, come on now. You got to do that. Maybe you make your kids or somebody, I don't know, your wife. If you're not married, then you'll set it up. You'll figure it out. But I'm encouraging you to do that tonight. This is a part of setting your house in order. Now, let me talk to you that are preachers. If you're a preacher and if your church is not doing have insurance on you, then get some insurance, and that when you're gone and you're not, if we walk off the scene or if we pass off the scene, if we can't function, get some insurance that your wife or your spouse or whoever will be taken care of when you close your eyes. Get some where they'll be taken care of when you close your eyes, because the truth of the matter, we just have to be honest. People may respect you and they may even respect your wife, but when you close your eyes, all bets are off. You don't know what they're going to do. You don't know what people got in their mind. You don't know how they're going to treat a person. So you got to make sure that they're taken care of. You got to make sure that something's in place to do that. Somebody said Colonial Penn is cheaper. Even try that. Those of you that know something about this, type it in here so somebody can get it, so we can help them out so they can get some insurance, because you're going to need it. We're going to need it either way, because we're going to get out of here one day. And somebody said, I'm going in the rapture just in case. Get you some life insurance, all right? All right, number 5, and I'm moving on. I pray and trust you're getting something out of this tonight. If you're getting something out of it, send me some signs of the thumbs up, some hearts, or something, because I believe it's helping somebody. Okay, here it is. Number 5. I know you're on top of your thing in ministry, and you're preaching, you're traveling, you're making money. But I need you to invest now. Invest in your money. Invest your money. You need to invest. What you mean by invest? If you don't have, you're doing investments, I need you to invest in buying a home, someplace you can call home. I know you got apartments and whatever, and nothing wrong with that. But from your speaking engagements and these things, you need to go and invest in buying a home. You putting a lot of money into clothes and shoes and stuff, and the most part that's going to happen with those clothes and shoes and dresses and all those expensive hats y'all wearing is people going to take them, fight over them, or they're going to give them away or sell them. And especially if they can't wear them, they're going to give them to somebody else. So understand that, because they're not going to keep them for souvenirs. They're going to get rid of that stuff. And so you need to invest. Those of you that are young now, go and invest in buying you a home. Go and buy your house. I purchased my home 21 years ago, and I purchased it from showing my income as an evangelist, not a pastor. Because when I bought my home, I had only been pastoring for 6 months. And so 6 months, and the first service I had when I started pastoring, I didn't get, let me tell you what, I got the first service. First service, they raised, we had about 18 people there. I think it's 18, and we raised about $30-something. So they gave me all the money so I could go and get me some food. And but I was able to buy a house from showing my income tax return, showing that I made money as an evangelist. I was able to close on a house that was right at almost $100,000 at the time. I was able to close on this house and do that by showing my income. I made an investment. So here I am. Now, I was 36 or 37 when that happened. Here I am 20 years later, 21 years later, and I have my house. So that's something that I can actually use. That's something that I can leave with my wife or with my children or with my children's children, that they can say, oh, he left this for us. So you've got to make an investment by doing that. Make an investment. We're buying all this stuff. Sometimes you may need a car, and I understand that thing. I'm not talking about those things. We need those everyday things to get around. But I'm talking about doing something that you can actually look back after your years of doing whatever and say, I have accomplished more than just preaching. I have a house. I bought these things not for bragging purpose, but for the purpose of showing that what I did, I was a good steward or what God had given me and what he told me to do. And so I did that. You got to understand, you're going to need a place to live, because when you're not doing traveling, when you're not on the road, and you get sick, you need a place to lay your head. And you need a place that you can call home. You need a place where you've invested some things in. Some of you may need to invest in some other things that bring and generate income or whatever it may be. But I'm just saying, you need to go out and do something different. Make an investment on some things and show some things that you're doing. Buy some things for yourself. I'm here to tell you, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feeling, but I got to be real with you tonight. I've seen some people that are clean, that are sharp, doing the convocations, doing the workers' meeting, doing conferences, and all those things. I mean, you can't beat them dressing. They're matching from head to toe. And then they're begging for money because they don't have any place to stay. They can't pay their rent. They don't have a house. They don't have a car. They don't even have a credit card to their name that they could go get a car if something happened. I don't hear nobody. You got to do it. If you had to go rent a car right now with all this traveling you're doing, why should you have to have people? And I have done it, so that's why I can talk to you. Why should you have to have people to go and rent a car for you? You should be working on your stuff, setting your house in order, that you can be in the place that you can get stuff for yourself without always have to have someone to co-sign, sign for you, to do stuff for you. Even as a minister, you should do that. And I'm saying to you tonight, we got to set our house in order. We don't talk about this in church. We don't talk about it. We want praise breaks, and I'm not against praise breaks, so don't say anything about it. But we don't talk about this. We don't make these things priority. We don't say much about it. But I'm saying to you tonight, it's something we got to do. We must have more discussions about this. We've got to have more discussions when it comes to this, even when it comes to pastors and those things. We need to do this. Now, this is the last one, and I'm going to move on with this. Thank y'all so much for hanging with me tonight. And those of you that are going to watch this, I really want to stress this. Please share this with somebody. Please do this. Please share it with somebody. Please share it with your followers. Please. Somebody's going to need to hear this. I promise you. I promise you. Somebody's going to need to hear this, because this is very important. You don't want to just go through life. The last one here is preparing ourselves. See, preparing yourself for and setting your house in order is not just all physical, but you got to prepare yourself in another two ways. You got to prepare yourself mentally and emotionally. And I want to talk about that. Mentally and emotionally, you've got to prepare yourself. Because remember, if you notice, most people in the secular world, one of the greatest things they have to deal with when they were child stars is when they got older, they were not being called upon when they got older to do things at the age they are now at. They were child stars, but when they got older, they had to deal with depression and stuff because now they're not being called. Same thing with singers in the world. They had one or two hits and they were on top of the charts. They won some Grammys or whatever. And then the next couple of years, nothing happened. Nothing broke for them. They didn't get anything. So now they've got to deal with this. April, I hear you wearing all your income on your back. That's true. Thank you so much. Now they got to deal with not being in demand. So you got to start preparing yourself. If you prepare yourself and get your house in order, then you can prepare yourself mentally and you can prepare yourself emotionally for these things when you're no longer being called upon and when you're no longer in demand. When I was 21 and someone told me they were 57, I said, oh my God, they old. But now I'm 57 and now I understand. Now I'm the old man. I'm the old man now. I know people say, I'm not old, I'm getting better. Listen, whatever you say, I'm going to go with you. but the clock is still ticking. Your body is still advancing. And so we need to really start doing these things. So we got to prepare ourselves mentally and emotionally. We've got to do these things and really start preparing ourselves for dealing with these things. And because we don't do it, we go through these changes. That's why you find people thinking about committing suicide and thinking about taking their lives and all those things, because they have not prepared themselves mentally, and they have not prepared themselves emotionally. You have to prepare yourself in all ways, both ways, mentally and emotionally. You've got to prepare yourself. So I want to say to you that we've got to do that. Don't let nobody fool you. Don't let nobody tell you that you don't have to do that, because you do have to do that. It's important that we do that. And so as we're getting older, we need to set our house in order. So go back over it. Get some life insurance. Get some health insurance. Start putting some money away. It don't have to be a lot of money, but just start putting some away that you'll have something, and start preparing yourself for when you're not doing these things. Set your house in order. Now, let me talk to those of you that are not in ministry. Set your house in order. Do you hear me? Get your stuff together. Know what you need to do. Know what needs to happen just in case some things happen. We were having this discussion at home the other day, and my wife said to me, my daughter said that, Mother, if something happened to Daddy, we need to know where everything is. And so I plan on making sure that she knows, my wife knows, I plan on making sure my son knows. I plan on making sure that they know how to find what they need to find if something happens to me. And I'm not just talking about something happened to me where I'm passed or something, but even if I'm sick and I can't respond, they need to know how to get a hold of stuff. They need to know what to do. We can't be secretive about this and have people running around. And one of the things that my CPA said to me that stuck with me more than anything, he said the person was a clean bill of health. He said, but now I've got to work with the children because no one knows where the policies are. They know he got one, but no one knows where it is. He didn't tell nobody, so they don't know. So you need to make sure somebody knows what's going on with you. Somebody knows where your stuff is, so we can set our house in order. Now, again, I know this is stuff that we don't talk about in church. We have all these, it's amazing to me. And I'm going to say this, and then I'll put a pitch in. But it's amazing to me that we have all these seminars, all these conventions and conferences, and all this stuff we put together, and no one sits down and tells us what I'm telling you tonight, that this is something got to be done. Now, those of you that you're in church and you got some influence with your pastor, you may even be a pastor, inbox me. I'll give you my email. Email me. I can come in and share some things with you and your church and share some things that I know will bless you, because this is not something that I'm just talking. This is something that I've lived. This is something that I know about. $18,000 later, I know about it. With no money, I know about it. Oh, I know about this stuff. And so I'm telling you. And so as I've gotten older, I start putting emphasis on, if I don't do anything, I'm going to make sure my insurance is paid. I'm going to make sure all this stuff is paid every month. I'm going to make sure. Somebody say, well, you going out to buy a suit? No. You going to buy some shoes? No. I'm going to go pay this insurance, because at the end of the day, impressing you all mean nothing if my family and people are embarrassed because they can't bury me, or because they can't, I don't have no money and I'm sick, and I know that's not a good thing. So I got to take care of business. You got to take care of business. Those of you that's working on a job, take care of business. We need to do those things. We need to communicate. You're right. We need to communicate. Someone needs the power of attorney. You need these things to happen. And if you don't do it, we'll be somewhere having this discussion, but it's got to be done. Don't. I heard my cousins on here, April. Don't wear all your income on your back. Don't take everything that you have and put it into stuff that's not going to benefit you when it comes down to what you're trying to do. You've got to get some health insurance. You've got to get some life insurance. You've got to put things away just in case. You don't know what's going to happen to you. You could be the bill of health today and be sick tomorrow, and you have put nothing away. Nothing. Nothing. And late Billy Preston says, nothing from nothing leaves nothing. Okay? So I'm saying to you, in the midst of all this stuff we're doing, let's go and let's do it. So let's do a little recap. For those that may be coming in, that just got here, let's do a little recap, and then I'm going to leave you. I've been on here a long time, but it takes time to deal with this kind of matter because it's something that we don't, again, talk about that much. So let's do a little recap. Here's the recap for those of you that may be coming in a little later. Real quick recap. 2 Kings chapter 20, verse 1, Hezekiah was sick unto death. The prophet said unto him, God says, I need you to set thine house in order, for you're going to die and not live. Not just spiritual, talking about his house. So I said to you, we've got to go prepare ourselves for ministry after when ministry is fading away, when we are not in demand. You got to prepare yourself for ministry. You got to go and get some things. One of the things I want you to consider is taking some money that you're making on this road and preaching. Take some money away, even if you have to get somebody at your church or somebody to do it. Get you an account that you can't touch. Get you an account that nobody will mess with. Take $100 away a month or take whatever and put it in that account and hold that money, and don't go in there talking about, I just need, I saw this computer, and no, this money is not for a computer. This money is for you when you really got to have it. And when you down to the place where you ain't got nothing, that's what you need to do. You need to invest in yourself, invest in your own future. Stop waiting on people to do it. Take some money away. I told you they took money away and put it in an account for me, and that happened. Number two, I told you to consider other streams of income. Do some other things. If you got a trade, a vocation, whatever it is, do some other things and do some other streams of income. Get you some ways of doing things and make some money. Just don't depend on your preaching engagements to do it. I won't show you that, but I'm looking at a check right here now that I got that came in this week. I hadn't even cashed it yet for some work that I did and some work that I do. So do that, and I want you to do that. Just another recap. Get you some health insurance, some life insurance, and invest, buy your home, do some other things, and remember, prepare yourself mentally and emotionally, and get some things ready for what you're getting ready to do. Now, I pray and trust that you got some from this tonight. Thank y'all so much for joining me. And I wanted to talk about this tonight. Sometimes we're busy talking about other things, but we've got to talk about stuff that's reality, stuff that we've got to deal with, that it's really important for us to know. And this is something that's important for us to know, that we deal with these things, that we can understand that this is no joke. This is nothing to play with. You're going to need these things. You're going to have to set your house in order. Don't wait. Don't put it off. Don't procrastinate. Start doing this now. Start putting things together now. Start putting things in place now. Get things in order now. Those of you that are pastoring churches, let me say to you, set your house in order. If you're the founder of the church, if you're the person that runs the church, set stuff in order that when you leave, people will know what needs to be done. Now, I'm in an organization. If something happens to me, the bishop, my bishop, Bishop Hopper, automatically becomes a pastor. He takes over the church. But I'm putting some stuff in place that if he takes over the church and puts somebody else in there, my wife don't have to be around there fighting and going through no changes about, if they're going to give her no money. No, I'm going to leave her some money so she'll be able to take care of herself and do what she needs to do. Okay? That's what I'm going to do. But if you're the founder, then sometimes you don't need to wait until you can't respond. You need to pick your successor now, because you don't know what people are going to do. You may tell people, well, I want you to put this person in there. You never know who they're going to put in there. They may put somebody in there that never met you, never didn't even ever talk to you in your life. And so you got to learn to set your house in order, put some things in place, put some paperwork in place, get some things. You might have to go get a lawyer to do it. And especially those of you that have independent ministries and you're not in an organization where somebody comes in, but if you're an independent ministry, set some things in order where people will know what to do when you are gone. Put some things in order that they will even know the structure of your homegoing service. Put these things in order where people won't be fussing and fighting. Let your voice speak from the grave. Man, let your voice speak from the grave. Do you hear me? Let it speak from the grave. Let your voice say something that people will have no doubt that this is what you wanted. Let it speak from the grave. Don't take a chance with people doing things. Make sure these are my wishes. These are my desires. This is what I want. This is what I'm looking for to be done. Even if you got a board of people, I don't know how you would structure it, but whatever way. And we got some smart people, so some of you are smarter than me, I know, but we got some smart people. So do what you got to do, and make sure you're taken care of. I said to my wife the other day, we were talking, and I said to her, I'm gonna make sure that you're taken care of. That when I leave here, you don't have to worry about trying to pastor no church and go through no changes, especially if you feel the Lord ain't called you to pastor no church. And she says all the time, you the pastor, the Lord called you to pastor, not me. So if she feels that way, why am I going to put her under that pressure of trying to hold something that she hasn't been called to do? I'm under pressure and I do it, and I'm called to do it. Why would I put her under that stress of doing something that she wasn't called to do? Why don't I just leave something for her so she can walk away, and if she wants to stay at the church and be under the new pastor, that's fine. But if she don't, she can just walk away in the sunset and said, thank you. He took care of me. God bless you. I pray that you go on and the ministry will be fine. That's what we got to work on doing. I promise you. Well, I got to get out of here. Thank y'all so much for being with me tonight. Now, listen, this is what I want you to do. I'm moving this platform. I'm staying here, but I'm connecting some things. I'm on Periscope. I'm on YouTube, but this is going on YouTube right now. And I need everyone that's watching me tonight, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to go to dlmartin.org, dlmartin.org. That's my website. And I need you to sign up for my mailing list and for my alerts. I need you to do that because I'm going to be sharing some other things that I know are going to bless you. And I want you to be able to know when I'm coming on or when things are happening. And then those of you that want to email me, somebody please put this in the thing for me. I see my daughter just signed on. Please put this in. My email address is rrcdmartin@gmail.com. That's rrcdmartin@gmail.com. Please put that on in the thing for me because I want you to be able to reach out to me. If this has been a blessing to you tonight, share it. If it's been a blessing, inbox me on the Facebook or inbox me, and also email me. Just let me know what a blessing this has been to you tonight as we're doing things. Again, I encourage you, set your house in order. Start preparing for life after ministry. Start preparing for whatever it may be. We're able to work around it, work through it, tackle it, because, listen, I don't want my loved ones struggling to do things for me. When I've got health and strength, I'm going to do it while the blood is running warm in my veins. And while I've got health and strength, I'm going to make sure these things are taken care of. The Lord bless you tonight and the Lord keep you. Thank you again so much for joining me. I appreciate you for being here. Meet me again next Wednesday, and we're going to be talking ministry again, and I know it's going to bless you, and I know God is going to move for you. Thank you once again. I appreciate you so much for being here on tonight. May God bless you, and remember, your best days are ahead of you and not behind. May God bless you, and may all God's best be yours.